Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for joining me for another episode of She Loves the podcast. Of course, we are Jackson State versus Southern 2.0. Less than 12 hours to kick off. No, not 12 hours. Less than 24 hours. I'll just say that. Less than 24 hours before the kickoff in the Veterans Memorial Stadium. And I'm excited. Hey, Jay Reed. Hey, Mr. Moore. Hey, Mr. Walker. Braxton's over here cutting up. Talking about tell everybody I said hi. So Braxton says hi. I went live Monday of this week and Wednesday, a little off because I usually go live on Saturdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. But my son is starting YMCA basketball, and it has been moved to Thursdays. His practice is Thursday evening. So there's probably going to be a shift in the coming weeks in regards to when I will go live. But hey, that's great to have that flexibility. This is a chance for us to talk our noise. Interesting enough, I went on HBCU Sports Live earlier this week, and it was some great debates about the state of the Swac Championship.
I love playing there. I love being there. I mean, I get fired up just thinking about it. I even listen to Get Ready. I listen to Get Ready on YouTube.
You heard that coach, right?
I love playing there. I love being there. I mean, I get fired up just thinking about it. I even listen to Get Ready. I listen to Get Ready on YouTube.
You think Coach listened to Get Ready this go round too? Y'all think Coach Graves listened to Get Ready? I mean, it is a rocking song, right? So tonight I'm just gonna go over a couple of players from Southern side and a couple and our Elite 11. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding about going over some of our players, but I made the statement that this particular game should not be a close game, that it should be a blowout, and a lot of folks got mad at me. I'm told that there has been roughly a minimum of 40,000 tickets already sold. So that's a good thing, right? Whenever you have a sold out stadium. Oh, Lord. And, last time I bought on Perry White to the show, but, I don't think it'll be necessary for him to come on. But he did, give this advice.
Man, hey, write a check your ass in cash, man. That's all I can say.
In his Jackson State shirt.
Man, hey, write a check your ass in cash, man. That's all I can say.
And some of y'all are being messy in the chat requesting that video of that young man Horatio who I don't know, he had an interview, and so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and play that. Poor fella. Poor fella. He said that we never beat them. We tried though. So just know that Southern is definitely going to come into the vet with a chip on their shoulder, because it's a lot to not have beat Jackson State. And this is going to be their 6th time, right? So 2 times in one season they lost. Another season last year, of course, they lost. And then it's getting ready to be 2 times this season as well. They was getting big mad, wasn't they? Ooh wee, they was hot as fish grease when I said it's not gonna be close. And you know what? This is the thing. It's an opinion. Like it's not. I'm just stamping what I feel, which is that a lot of Jackson State Tigers have a chip on their shoulder, because there was a couple of players that were missing from the SWAC postseason awards. And a lot of folks took offense to that, as they should. And so let me go ahead and play that video. This is like Boombox Classic 2.0. Can someone please lead me in the direction to show me where they think that Southern has gotten better in terms of being able to move the football? Because if we're talking about the run game, we know that Jackson State is one of the top run defenses in all of FCS. If we're talking about throwing it, Noah Bodden threw it a lot around the field, and they were still only be able to make 15 points. And that's, of course, because they were behind. This is the results of last time.
You ready for me? Or do I need to give you some definitions before I start?
Oh, baby, you don't have to give me no definitions. The only definition that you're going to be taking is that big L this weekend.
Okay, I just need to make sure.
I didn't know. Are we having a vocabulary test, or are we talking about football? Are we doing vocabulary?
Hello. Welcome back to Lessons with Kobe. Today, we will be learning the term belt to ass in sign language. First, we're going to break it down. Stay with me. Belt to ass. One more time. Belt to ass. Together now. Belt to ass. And that concludes my lesson. See you next season.
This room, we got great turnovers, fumble recoveries, interceptions. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not teaching it right. Need to bring Davis's mama in here. She show y'all how to grab some balls. This room.
I'm a senior. I know it's hard to say, but I never beat Jackson State, but we tried, dude.
Man, hey, write a check your ass can cash, man. That's all I can say. You ready for me? Or do I need to give you some definitions before I start?
Oh, baby, you don't have to give me no definitions. The only definition that you're going to be taking is that big L this weekend.
Okay, I just need to make sure.
I didn't know. Are we having a vocabulary test, or are we talking about football? Are we doing vocabulary?
Hello. Welcome back to Lessons with Kobe. Today, we will be learning the term belt to ass in sign language. First, we're going to break it down. Stay with me. Belt to ass. One more time. Belt to ass. Together now. Belt to ass. And that concludes my lesson. See you next season.
This room, we got great turnovers, recoveries, interception. Maybe it's me.
I love playing there. I love being there. I mean, I get fired.
You need to be quiet. You need to be weeping. You need to be quiet. You need to be weeping.
Whew, sorry about that. So now you got two battles. You got Jackson State Tigers versus the Southern Jaguars. And then you got the human jukebox. Is this coming on or going off? Well, welcome, Mr. Moore. I'm sorry, y'all. I was talking mess anyway. It's a Tiger pep rally tonight. Y'all go ahead and comment down in the chat what type of recipe or plate we got. I myself love some Southern Jaguar chili. I feel like Southern Jaguar chili, it's cold, crisp outside. The high is going to be, I want to say, it did say it's going to be 57. And it's going to be cloudy. So I'm thinking a little Southern Jaguar chili is good. Somebody said some Jaguar etouffee. I don't know. Some Jaguar multi-blue Jaguar gumbo. That sounds good. And there's no way that you should still have dressing left from Thanksgiving. Hang it up. Message to everybody in the chat. Thanksgiving is gone. Ooh, Jaguar hot chocolate. Yes. With some marshmallows. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That Jaguar hot chocolate is going to hit. Jaguar meatballs. That's what I'm saying. No diddy. Southern fried Jaguar with a side of spotted tater tots. I know that's right. I know that's right. Listen, the Southern fried Jaguar, that sounds real good. Me myself, I was thinking Jaguar mac and crab bites. That Jaguar meat all rolled up into one. Not Jaguar dressing. Oh, so Mr. Moore admits that Jaguar hot chocolate. He said it goes down smooth and warms you up real nice. Yes, we're gonna enjoy. Miss Natasha, she keeping it in the Thanksgiving section. She said Jaguar dressing. As long as everybody knows that this particular game is a statement for us. It's a statement. And I'm not trying to be overly confident. I'm not even trying to be arrogant. But we're going to look at the wins and losses on each team from Jackson State to Southern, and we're going to compare and contrast. At the end of the day, like everyone is saying, game has to be played on the field. A lot of times they say when it's between Jackson State and Southern to throw those records out. It doesn't matter. This is a rivalry, and the game is going to be close. For me, I feel like the game should not be close if Jackson State plays a fundamentally sound game. Y'all taking it to the Starbucks, ain't it? Jaguar peppermint latte, Jaguar shish kebabs. Nice meeting you, Ron. Jaguar stew. Ain't nothing like a stew. It's getting colder. The stews and the soups go. They go. We got to take everything and leave nothing. And that's the thing. I think that this particular game is not I said it was a tune-up game because Jackson State has more than just this particular game to prove. We have to make a statement here to all of FCS football. This is not just we ain't here to play no games. Deviled egg Jaguars. Y'all keep these different dishes coming, okay? So congratulations to Southern. They clinched the 2004 West Division champions. We're going to take a look at their schedule. Now, interesting to note, of course, that Southern said that as the season progressed, they got better. So they played McNeese State. And that was their first game of the season. And they lost in Lake Charles, Louisiana. They just said, we're just trying to figure out who we are as a team. We're trying to put some things together. McNeese's overall wins and losses, they were 6-6 overall. They were 4-1 at home. So that is interesting to note. The team that they lost to at home was Incarnate Word. Oh, no, not Incarnate Word. Let me see. They lost to Lamar at home. Their last game of the season. They only lost by 2 points. Savannah State University, they won 42-10. That's the Pete Richardson Classic. And then, of course, the third game of the season, they went against Jackson State University, and they lost 15-33. We're going to take a look at that recap, and what does that look like, the matchup between Southern. And we're going to look at some of their X's and O's and say, listen, this is what they did versus Jackson State. I'm going to be, of course, this is Jackson State versus Southern. So, of course, I'm going to play what our defensive coordinator said. It would be negligence if I didn't play what Coach Terenzo Quinn said in regards to the Southern Jaguars. Now, their first SWAC game, because Southern versus Jackson State was a non-conference game, is Prairie View A&M versus Southern. And that particular game went to overtime, and they won 31-24. A very close game, a very contentious matchup between Prairie View and Southern. I like to call, and I think I called them earlier in the season, overtime Jags. That's what they're called because they have been going to battle and going to overtime several times in the season. They are able to come up with a win, though. Next, they played Nichols. That was a brawl for them, and that was at home. They lost 7-51. They went against the Texas Southern Tigers, and they won 22-19 in overtime. That particular game went to overtime. Homecoming, they went against Alcorn State University. As you all know, we beat the Bravery out those big sad Braves on the reservation, 48-10. Versus Alcorn, they won 24-14. Versus Florida A&M in Bragg, they lost 6-24. Versus Alabama A&M in Huntsville, Alabama, they were able to come out with a win, 25-20. I think the most notable game that I can highlight as to why I feel like Jackson State will definitely play a dominant game is this game versus Bethune-Cookman that went to 5 overtimes in Mumford. It literally came down to 2 points. Why do I say that? This is a game that was later off in the season when the Southern Jags, they're not necessarily trying to find themselves. This is the team. These are the offensive line that will probably be going against Jackson State. And that game went to 5 overtimes. Once again, the Southern Jags are immaculate when it comes to them overtimes. You don't want to finish the fourth quarter against the Southern Jags. They have an advantage in finding ways to win in overtime. The UAPB game, they must have gotten their playbook. They were able to come out with a win, 31-9. So convincingly. UAPB has won 3 games. I want to say Bethune-Cookman might have won 2 or 3 games. Alabama A&M ended up 6-6. And those were the last couple of games. Grambling, dear Grambling. Come on, Grambling. Do you think that he appreciates this? I had the chance to go on Ken Rashad's show, and one of the things he highlighted was whether or not a team was a daddy over another team. And he said, unless you have double-digit margin of wins over another team, you can't be their daddy. And I said, okay, well, Southern got about 8 wins over y'all, ain't it? So Southern is currently playing stepdaddy to those Grambling State Tigers. So we are going to have to show the Grambling Tigers how it's done because they played us and then the rest of the season was a wash. Just like JSU struggles to win in Grambling, Southern struggles to win in Bragg. All right. And then here we are, of course, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Jackson State versus Southern. Now, let's go over Jackson State's football schedule and see, do I have an answer or an excuse for why one game was this way or one game was that? So right now, we've won 8 straight, undefeated at home. Undefeated at home. 4-2 away and 1-0 neutral. Yes. 10-2 with the possibility to end the season 12-2 with a Celebration Bowl win. I mean, hey, I'm going to go ahead and play what our defensive coordinator said. I didn't say it. He said it. I'm just playing it.
You know, you faced Southern before, but a different team, and you guys are a different team. What do you see from them when you cut on the film now?
Same team.
You know, you faced Southern before, but a different team, and you guys are a different team. What do you see from them when you cut on the film now?
Same team.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. He said it. He said it was the same team. They might have switched out a couple of the X's and O's. They did say that they have some different offensive line matchups. So it's going to be our front seven versus Southern's offensive line. Who you think gonna win? If it's us versus them, who you think gonna win? All right. So we have for Jackson State Tigers for their season, ULM. ULM, we lost to them 14-30. They ended up ending the season 5-7 overall. They did have a very rough season, the last 6 games. They lost to Arkansas State, Louisiana, Auburn, Texas State, Marshall, Southern Alabama. They beat Southern Miss 38-21. They beat James Madison. They beat Troy. They beat the dog mess out of UAB. And of course, they beat us. But we only lost by 16. Hey, I think that was a pretty decent start. And everybody was going crazy. Folks was going crazy on oh my God, we should have won this game. I don't know if the Tigers remember, but boy, we had so many think pieces. First game of the season, all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. So I'm going to do a poll. Who do you think will win tomorrow? Jackson State versus Southern. It's going to be Jackson State by 40. Homegrown ass whooping. Compliments of the I love. Southern will squeak out a win, or it's going to be a dog fight battle. Whoever, I'm going to use Miss Keisha's words. Whoever puts up the most points, as she would say. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to start that poll. So y'all go ahead and make your selection. At the conclusion of course, tomorrow we will be having Swac Saturday. I'm excited for Swac Saturday. And I'll be beginning my campaign for the Celebration Bowl because, of course, I want to be live on Friday for Radio Row. And there's some other things that are coming down the pipeline, but I have been approved for the Celebration Bowl for Radio Row, which will take place Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So details with that will come tomorrow night in terms of if you would like to support me in going to that Celebration Bowl game. Oh, Lord. He didn't get the invite, but he still came. Let's welcome Perry, y'all. Let's welcome Perry.
Yeah, man, hey, write a check your ass in cash, man. That's all I can say.
That's all you get. That's the only screen time you get today, Perry White. And this, I can give you this screen time too.
You ready for me? Or do I need to give you some definitions before I start?
Oh, baby, you don't have to give me no definitions. The only definition that you're going to be taking is that big L this weekend.
Okay, I just need to make sure.
I didn't know. Are we having a vocabulary test or are we talking about football? Are we doing vocabulary?
Hello. Welcome back to Lessons with Kobe. Today, we will be learning the term belt to ass in sign language. First, we're going to break it down. Stay with me. Belt to ass. One more time. Belt to ass. Together now. Belt to ass. And that concludes my lesson. See you next season.
This room, we got great turnovers, fumble recoveries, interceptions. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not teaching it right. Need to bring Davis's mama in here. She show y'all how to grab some balls. This room.
I'm a senior. I know it's hard to say, but I never beat Jackson State, but we tried, dude.
Yeah, man, hey, write a check your ass in cash, man. That's all I can say.
I'm so sorry for Horatio in that interview because that young man, that video is like placed into Southern versus Jackson State memory forever. Like he'll never be able to get away with that. Like, sir, you do not want to become a meme. This one too.
About it. I even listened to Get Ready. I listened to Get Ready on YouTube.
Like those aren't things you don't want your coach.
I love playing there. I love being there. I mean, I get fired up just thinking about it. I even listened to Get Ready. I listened to Get Ready on YouTube.
Boy, I know that hurt the Southern fans to hear that your coach loves being. He loved being in there. He loved being in the vet. He listens to get ready, to get motivated. Ooh, wee. Yes, I know that hurt. I know that hurt. I know it did. I know it did. He was just being honest, but some things you just keep to yourself. Okay, so then we went against Lane. We won 58-7. Jackson State was like, yeah, we ain't gonna be too much because we know that it's a D2 school, which, by the way, Lane's coach has been relieved of his duties. We was like, yeah, we got this. Then we came back next week versus Southern. Boombox Classic. We beat them. Yeah, okay. We beat our rival 33-15. The band lost. They lost. We put out belt to ass. The scoring drives that Southern was able to score on were drop coverage type of deals. We had some penalties. We was hyped. Boy, we got to Grambling. We got popped in the mouth. Boop. Oh, Lord. Had us kind of dizzy. Like, what? Woo, what is happening? We lost 20-41. Got popped in the mouth. They had Gatorade baths. Hell, I think they made a holiday for beating us, right? Popped us in the mouth. Lord, the floodgates open. Jackson State ain't this. Jackson State ain't that. Lord have mercy. Folks was hollering and screaming and yelling. So then we had a point to prove. We put up 43 points against Texas Southern. Meanwhile, the game differential between Southern and Texas Southern was 22-19 in overtime. So Southern in Houston, Texas won 22-19 in overtime. Jackson State beat Texas Southern 43-14. We won. Braxton, stop it. You're going to make this thing fall. Get up. You're going to make the light fall. I don't know what you're under there doing, but you're going to make the light fall. Alabama A&M 45-38. And we had some questions because what happened in the second half? Those are second half points, by the way. Alabama A&M was losing really bad at the halftime. How many times will SU blitz tomorrow? We'll be ready. We'll be ready. So that game, 45-38. And let's see how many points Southern put up 25 points versus Alabama A&M, so 25-20 in Huntsville. So, and everybody knows that folks play Jackson State hard. Real hard. We beat Florida A&M 35-21. Of course, those last 14 points coming in the fourth quarter with less than 2 to 3 minutes left to go. Of course, Southern lost to Florida A&M 6-24. Bethune-Cookman, we beat them by 20, 37-17. And this is the game that Southern went to 5 overtimes to win. At home. Merlin, let's talk about this belt to ass tomorrow, though. How about that? That homegrown ass whooping you finna get tomorrow. Let's talk about that. You don't want to talk about that, huh? You don't want to talk about that homegrown ass whooping you finna receive tomorrow. Merlin knows he's about to lose. He knows he's about to lose. It's okay. Of course, UAPB, they scored a field goal. We all know what came out of that. Mississippi Valley State, we scored 51 points on. Now, the Alabama State game, folks keep on talking about it like it's a gotcha moment. Alabama State, in terms of total defense now. I don't know why they keep on bringing up Alabama State as if, like, I don't know. I feel like they think that because Alabama State did it, they should be able to do it. You guys don't have the personnel. You do not have the personnel. So please stop comparing yourself to Alabama State. Stop saying, well, Alabama State did this, then that. You do not have the personnel that Alabama State has, nor do you have the total defense that Alabama State has. You know, you can try. Me personally, folks keep on bringing up Irv Mulligan. I'll use Irv Mulligan as a decoy. We have Desmond Moultrie, Nate Blount, Kobe Boykin, Amari Matthews, Travis Terrell. We have other running backs that we can utilize outside of just Irv Mulligan. So here is the total defense. This is as of November 30th, 2024. This is of all of FCS. So in all of FCS, Alabama State is the third overall in total defense, and Jackson State is number 5. In 12 games played, Alabama State had 767 plays and allowed 3,180 yards, roughly 4.15 yards per play, 22 offensive touchdowns. Opposition scored, 24 touchdowns. Yards per game is 265 yards. That's how many yards that they allow, the total defense, right? Jackson State, of 12 games played, 727 plays, allowed 3,334 yards, 4.59 yards per play, 26 offense touchdowns versus the 28 touchdowns, 277 yards per game. Let's see where Southern is at. Now, Southern is tied for 7th. So they, they're behind Jackson State in terms of total defense. South Carolina State comes in at 9. South Carolina State only played 11 games. But when we look at the X's and O's and you highlight Southern's team and you highlight Jakelby Givens, which congratulations on being Defensive Player of the Year. The matchups and the amount of all SWAC players on Jackson State's team versus Southern team, there is a difference. Now, folks are saying it doesn't matter about the stats. It doesn't matter that Jackson State already whooped Southern one time. Southern has the number 1 pass defense. Okay, and what does Jackson State have? A balanced offense. Balanced offense. Not only that, good Lord, that defense is crazy. So folks are saying that tomorrow's game will be different. So I wanted to take a look at this Grambling versus Jackson State game. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the StreamYard to those who want to talk. And basically what we're going to be looking at is their key players from the Southern versus Grambling game. What does that look like for Jackson State? What were some of the plays that happened during that game that we could highlight? And I think when you look at that particular game, one thing that you'll see is that some of the big time X's and O's at that Southern versus Grambling game were impact players at the Southern versus Jackson State game. They were able to convert And what do I mean by that? Kobe Dillon and Kendrick Grimes are two of the running backs that had significant impacts on the outcome of that Southern versus Grambling game. And they also played in the Jackson State versus Southern game. And they were held to 29 yards. So, I mean, of course I'm gonna talk Miss. It's Southern versus Jackson State. Of course I'm gonna talk some Miss now. I'm gonna talk some Miss, definitely.
Come in here with them dumb ass moves, bro. You better do a work for you. You better have your chin strap on.
Better have your chin strap
Big V. We ain't playing that. We putting belt to ass. Come in here with them dumb ass moves, bro. You better do a work for you. You better have your chin strap on. Big V. We ain't playing that. We putting belt to ass.
Don't be coming up in here. Now, I will say this. And this particular thing happened versus Alabama State. And it also happened it happened versus Alabama State. And I want to say it happened in another game as well, which is because we over pursued and we dropped coverage. A running back was able to get through the defense and they ran for a touchdown. All we have to do is play fundamentally sound football. The JSU Grambling game needs to be a litmus test on who understands what they're watching. So the Grambling game, we had a lot of turnovers and Grambling converted on those turnovers. That's it. That's all. The same thing happened versus FAMU, and FAMU did not convert, and the defense came up big. So turnovers and penalties. And I just said, like I said on the other on Ken Rashad's show, I said that the type of defense that Jackson State is playing, let's say for instance, we do have to punt the ball. We have Matt Knoll, All-American punter, right? And he's going to punt that ball on the behind the 20-yard line, 10-yard line, 5-yard line, 1-yard line, right? With Jackson State's defense, it is going to be hard to cross that 50-yard line running. So they will have to throw the ball. And Noah Bodden did throw the ball a lot during that game. I'm not going to say there's not a way to win, right? Yes, all court on the big run. So we've had instances where a linebacker missed picking up a running back off of the blitz, or they missed the tackle. So I'm not going to say that the defense is just like you cannot penetrate the defense. No diddy. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is fundamentally sound football where you're tackling, where if they are blitzing, the safety or the linebacker is picking up those gaps. Hey, I'm just telling you guys that it's going to be a hard-fought game. And Mr. Clyde Marshall says that the Jackson State Chicago alumni chapter are teaming up with the Southern Chicago alumni chapter to watch the game at a Jackson State alums rush. So this rivalry is deep. And tomorrow, the Charlotte alumni chapter will be at Harold's Chicken and Ice Bar for our watch party. And everyone is welcome to come and join. It's the Swac Championship. So you can wear your paraphernalia. We'll have a place set out specifically for the game. So you can come out at like, I want to say the game starts at, what time does it start? It starts at 2. So if you get there by 1:45, I don't know. Jerome's going to have to send me the flyer. I need the flyer. But yes, the Charlotte alumni chapter will also be having a watch party. Anybody else who's having a watch party, if you guys want to inbox me your flyer, I can put it up. Oh, thanks, Jerome. Anybody else that would like to share? So yes, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the JSU Metro Charlotte chapter will be having a watch party, 44 East McCullough Drive, Suite A100. There'll be plenty of room. Children are welcome. I would advise you to bring like a tablet or, something they could play a game on or something. Yes, you can come in your paraphernalia. It's not just Jackson State or Southern exclusive because it is the Swac Championship. So you can come on in your Swac attire. You don't even have to be from the Swac. You could be just an HBCU and you're in the Charlotte area and you want to watch some football and fellowship. You are welcome to come. Mr. Marshall, if you would like to inbox me the flyer for Chicago or whatever, anybody else who has a flyer, feel free to do so and I will share that. And Ladarius says that they're having a watch party in Mobile, Alabama tomorrow. So there's all type of watch parties all over the world, honey. Orangey Swac Sports indicates that if you are not following his YouTube, that he will be live streaming the game from his YouTube channel. So make sure that you click on it. Merlin, he wanted to see this live and direct. He wanted to see the Jaguar carpet being made. So he said that he is 20 miles from Jackson. All right, Mr. Merlin. And I am not going to Jackson. It is my weekend with, and the last time that me and Braxton went to that Alcorn game, it was too much dip on the chip. Okay. It was a lot. I don't know if anybody remembers last time when I went to Jackson State versus that Alcorn game. It was a bit much. Last year, it was a lot. Okay. Jay Reed said he's in San Antonio, Texas. Okay. Or San Antonio, Mississippi. I've never heard of a San Antonio, Mississippi. So I will not, but stay tuned because of course we're going to have Swac Saturday. And I have been already approved for credentials for Radio Row for Celebration Bowl. Same, sis, same. I wanted that. But Valley took care of business. So, once again, Orangey will be showing the game. Anybody else, if you would like for me to share your watch party information, go ahead and fellowship. It's nothing like a whole bunch of HBCU alums getting together and talking smack. Y'all put the score predictions in the chat, because when I did my score, I didn't even do a score prediction. I just said that I didn't think Southern was going to score, and it caused an uproar on Wednesday night when I said that they weren't going to score. So let me hear y'all score predictions. A pool party? Is it still going to be hot in Chicago to be having a pool party? When you say pool party, do you mean a party by the pool? Are there going to be actually people getting in the pool? We putting belt to ass. Don't be coming there with them dumb ass moves, thinking you getting ready to run on V. Big V. You better have your chin strap on. Uh-oh. She said she's already booked for Chicago. Y'all playing. I don't know what y'all are playing. 50-6. That seems like that's definitely by 40. 44-10. Y'all think they're gonna get a touchdown? 38-10. 38-24. This is where's Mr. Moore at? There's not that many Jags in the chat, but Mr. Moore, you need to represent. He might have left after he heard all that junk I was talking. 49-9. JSU's on a mission. 28-7. 38-17. 42-24. No one wants to listen to a matchup between Howard and Jackson State with Howard getting their ass whooped with Jay Walker. I don't think he'd be able to take it. 35-14, Miss Natasha. Last call. M-Bar, Martins, 4th Avenue, Pelican Grove at the Res will be open for business for the game tomorrow. Jaguars will lose by only scoring 12 points. 12 points? How are they going to get 12 points? They're going to score they're only going to score field goals? Merlin got it as a close game. All right. Now let me pull up my players. So, Southern said that they are a different team. For us, I feel like we consistently have been the same team, technically, in terms of our X's and O's, right? Jacoby and Morgan is consistently throwing for a certain amount of yards. His completion percentage stays at about 61, 62%. I'm not trying to be biased, but in terms of like how stuff goes down, our offense has been pretty consistent in terms of run game and passing. And they told me that Southern got some field goals blocked, some kick returns blocked. They was just blocking them. Donovan said 52-43 SU may be overtime. In what world do you think that Southern is scoring 50 points on JSU's defense? Lord have mercy. And they call me delusional. See, that's why I cannot. They're like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. In terms of scoring defense, Jackson State averages 18.33 points a game. That's their average. All right, rushing. Good Lord. Jackson State rushed for, this was the, let me see which one this was. This was our latest one. Maybe I should do, I'm wondering, should I do Jackson State's latest game versus Gramblin's latest game? Because if we do Jackson State's latest game, or if we do Jackson State versus Southern, you guys only ran for 29 yards, and I'm sure you don't necessarily want to utilize those particular stats because the claim is that it's a different type of team. All right. So we have Jalen Woods, and a lot of people are saying, well, what if they don't have Jalen Woods at the quarterback, at the helm? And I said, well, you know, we've played Tissette and we've played against Noah Bodden. In this particular game of Southern versus Grambling, Jalen Woods took 3 sacks, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. So he basically, you know, let's see, what's the rushing? See, now the rushing is where Southern was really able to convert. You see, we have Kendrick Grimes. He ran for a net of 110 yards. Then you have Kobe Dillon. And he had a net of 81 yards. CJ Russell, 18 yards. So they had 209 yards rushing. So when I look at this Southern versus Grambling game, I'm looking at the rushing aspect of the game, and I'm also looking at how Southern rush game was eliminated versus Jackson State. If Miak Pirate is saying the rushing game will be the biggest factor in the ball game, let's look up rush defense according to NCAA. Let me see. Rushing defense. So, Alabama State allows 2.77 yards rushing in all of FCS. So that's why when folks are saying, oh, Alabama State stopped Jackson State from running. Well, statistically, which means over 12 games, Alabama State held 2.77 yards per rush. This is Alabama State. This is not Southern. Jackson State is in the top 20. South Carolina State and Jackson State are neck and neck right here. Basically 3.46 yards per rush, where South Carolina State has 11, their ops have 11 rushing touchdowns, and Jackson State has allowed 12. What do I see from this? We're not going to talk about South Carolina State versus Jackson State for this particular segment, but seeing that South Carolina State and Jackson State are neck and neck for rush defense that makes for a very exciting, defensively fought game. But in terms of sudden, Jackson State has historically held, and tomorrow's not going to be a day where they just drop and allow 7 to 8 yards per rush. It's just not, logistically, it's not going to happen. Jackson State is coming off of a bye week. Numbers do matter when you're talking about the season. Jackson State holding all of the teams is accumulative to roughly 3.46 yards per rush, means that rush game will be eliminated. That's what's supposed to happen, logistically speaking, unless there's a total breakdown of the defense, which, based off of the defensive coordinator's confident answer, which I'll play, I don't think that history is going to all of a sudden change tomorrow and then, like all of a sudden we're going to drop the ball. I just don't see that happening. I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, I want to play this as well. Congratulations, of course, to the fall 2024 class of the Jackson State University. They had their ceremony today.
Graduates, you may now turn your tassels from the right to the left. Graduates, you may now turn your tassels from the right to the left.
So congratulations, Tigers! Congratulations. Just to let you guys know that as recent graduates, you do have 1 year. I want to say you have 1 year of a free membership into the Jackson State University National Alumni Association. So congratulations to the class of 2024. Jackson State, the number one HBCU for graduating. Yeah. Boy, they said them Tigers is out here. Do you hear me? We talking about those 2022, 2021 Tigers are here to cheer on the 2024 Tigers in the Swac Championship. So it's awesome to be able to see a lot of these alums coming back in the fold. Of course, some of them graduated. Some of them decided to transfer to other schools, but they are here in the city and they will be at the game tomorrow. So it'll be exciting to see who pops out, right? Yeah. Oh, I have a question. Sorry, it's my last question, my last Thanksgiving question. Let me go ahead and stop this poll. It says that Jackson State by 40. So, of course, more than half of you do feel like it is going to be belt to ass tomorrow, and that Jackson State will convincingly win this particular game. It's going to be important that we win the game convincingly. Yeah. Yeah. We fence. There we go. Oh, they said 2008, 2012, and 2016 too. Yes, so we have a lot of Jackson State alums that are on the way. I do know I saw for myself Isaiah Bolden did indicate that he will be coming back home. So if you spot a former Tiger that used to be on Jackson State team, make sure you say, hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming back in the fold. Once a Tiger, always a Tiger, right? Let me pull up that forecast. The weather for the Swac Championship, 58 degrees, 1% chance of rain, and 0% chance of southern winning. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, now it's 0% chance of precipitation. Here we go. The high will be 58 degrees. It's going to be cloudy. 0% chance of precipitation and 0% chance of southern winning. Oh, Lord. Let me stop being messy. Lord have mercy. Y'all see the weather? Ladarius said 100% chance of JSU fans in tears. Absolutely. They will be tears of joy, of redemption, retribution. You ain't never lied, because I will be crying. Okay. Allegedly, we got Aubrey Miller here in Jackson, Mississippi. Oh Lord. y'all cozy on up now. Get you a bowl of that Jaguar chili. Isaiah Bolden in town. Listen, it's a great thing to see Jackson State Tigers able to go to the Swac Championship just 2 years removed from getting a new head coach at the helm, Coach T.C. Taylor. Ladarius seems to think he's eating leftover Gremlin Tiger gumbo because there is no Jackson State Tiger gumbo. Leftover Gremlin Tiger gumbo. All right. Y'all, where I was at, I done started talking so much mess. I done lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm going to read this, and these are the impact players. Okay, it says that the Jaguars found success for the fourth straight week on the ground. Do you see that? The fourth straight week on the ground. Well, you're not going to be able to find any success on the ground versus Jackson State University. We're going to put a stop to that. So it'll be interesting to see how Kobe Dillon finishes the day, as well as Kendrick Rhymes. Jalen Woods, you're a young freshman quarterback. You got to keep your head on the swivel. And I would advise you to If you see somebody coming your way, just throw the ball away. Don't try to make all those fancy moves. Don't be trying to do it. You don't want to get hit by one of those Jackson State Tigers. It's not going to be pretty. You don't want a situation like this. Jackson State Tigers are coming with a point to prove, and whew, Lord, have mercy on his soul. Interesting to note, if number 4 wasn't gonna make that tackle, you see number 2 is right behind him, and number 39. Good Lord, have mercy. Just coming, just ooh. And you are a younger quarterback. You can't take one of them type of hits. Good Lord. So now I'm going to leave out with, of course, my keys to the game. I'm dropping the link. Anybody that would like to come up and speak, talk their noise, or place their input. So the keys to the game are no penalties. We don't need any roughing the passer penalties. We don't need no unnecessary roughness. No false starts. None of that.
When are you eating dinner?
We already ate dinner. We had pizza.
That was for lunch.
That was not your lunch. You just want to eat more food.
That was my lunch. You never let me have lunch with you. Then you always ask me to fix you a peanut butter jelly sandwich in the middle of the day. So if you want lunch, I can have lunch.
Get some more of them red beans and rice that I cooked, and some of that cornbread. Because I'm not cooking.
The red beans and rice are spicy.
You can have some lemonade with it. He is not hungry. He already had pizza. He just wants.
Like that was 10 hours ago. 10 hours ago. 10 hours ago. That was 10 hours ago.
Go put a shirt on. Don't be trying to come in my live.
Yo.
Showing them baby muscles. Braxton be wanting me to cook every single day. Sir, you have red beans and rice from yesterday, and you gonna eat it. And I fixed cornbread.
I'm only putting this on because I'm in the samurai family. I'm only putting this on because I'm in the samurai family.
We eating what? Leftovers. You guys want to watch Coach Quinn's press conference in its entirety?
Samurai family.
You just wanted to get on camera. That's why you started talking to me. Yeah.
No, it's because we didn't have dinner. We ate ate 10 hours ago.
Braxton got Pizza Hut for his reading.
Yeah, we ate 10 hours ago, which was at 2 o'clock.
You're not even out of school.
Or 3 o'clock something.
You don't even get out of school. You don't even get out of school until after 3:30. So, you don't get out of school until after 3:30. Listen, sir, I'm on live. Okay. I understand that. You said that you were hungry. I will gladly warm you up some red beans and rice. Gladly. I'm not cooking nothing. Oh, now you ain't hungry no more, huh?
No, I heard you right. Wait a minute. You said you was cooking it. I'm
wondering why I can't find
this.
this.
You was cooking it. So I'm going to wait till you can cheese.
All right, y'all. Let me. Ooh, geez. See, you see why I did not come to the Swac Championship? Because who was going to be listening to that? It's interesting that when I look up Jackson State football, the first, here it is. Let me see if I can find that particular part for Coach Quinn. Braxton, please leave that stuff alone.
That's the cat. I'm under the couch. I'm not doing nothing. I'm under the couch. That's a cat.
All right. Got it. Jerome, please don't start with this blue blood. Actually, you know what? You need to come up here and tell me about the blue blood. Please come tell me about the blue blood.
Once y'all get ready, start asking. Coach, how excited are you for the team you built for December, as Coach Taylor's been calling it? And it's December, and you got the Swac Championship this week.
Man, very excited. This is what we set out to be. This is where we set out to be, back in the spring. So TC talked about it, man, from the weight room to the way we prepared all summer. The kids been here since May, and they deserve to have fun with it.
You faced Southern before, but a different team, and you guys are a different team. What do you see from them when you cut on the film now?
Same team.
Is there any guys on their offense that really jump out at you that you guys have to make sure you contain on Saturday?
The running back doing a great job of creating explosive in the run game. And then number 19, Whitfield, had a couple explosives on the last game.
And,
go ahead.
I was going to say, Coach, earlier this morning there were some offensive players that won along with Coach Taylor, but some SWAC awards. How well does that offense, help out the defense side, during games?
Work hand in hand. Release a lot of pressure off of me, knowing I can be aggressive. If somebody get out of the gap or somebody mess it up, we'll still have another chance to win the ball game. Being on the flip side of it, when the offense is struggling, kind of take the aggressiveness out of you defensively because you feel as I can't mess it up. If I give up 7 points, we might not get this back. So feel good, be behind the offense and scoring points like that.
Coach, last time there was a bye week for this team, it seems like it came out, and that's where we really started talking about the defense, shifting gears and really building on what you guys had hoped that they would by the end of the year. Coming out of this week, where do you see this team's drive and competitiveness even taking the next step again for these playoff games?
Man, just another game for us. We're excited about the opponent that's coming in. Obviously, they're excited. You saw some of the posts that have been posted, but we're excited. I think the kids going to be ready for it. So I don't think they need a motivation speech.
No flag needing to be planted in the center of the field.
Nah.
What concerns you have about Southern?
None.
Nothing at all?
They got to go play football. We got a concern that we can't fix week 13, week 14. We're in trouble. We faced them before, had a lot of passing yards. And, the motivation speak to the back end, just win our one-on-ones, After evaluating the film, a lot of guys in place, they just made plays. So excited to see it the second time around.
Coach, in the second half of the season, obviously defense has tightened up a lot, specifically in the second half. Each week, it seems like the continuity is obviously continuing to grow. What have you appreciated the most about seeing this group evolve the way that they have?
Just continue to grow, man. They have grown so much. The leadership in the room, he said Guthrie, Robert McDaniel, them guys, man, even yesterday, just in the film room, they always texting 10, 11 o'clock at night. Coach, you saw this play. Number so-and-so. So just the growth of them guys, just staying hungry. This late in the season, it's just hard to find guys that still hungry, still want to line up, play football. They've been doing it since May.
How important are some of those leaders like Asias and McDaniel and all them to this group?
Very. I told these sales girlfriend yesterday, I don't know where I'd be without him. We put a lot on his plate as far as the thinking process. And he can handle it. Very smart young man.
Anything else? I appreciate it.
Y'all heard it.
Same team.
Same team.
Same team.
Same team. Hey,
What's
Jerome and Doc, how y'all
What's
doing?
going on, sis? What's that?
Hey, what's going on? Happy DL. Well, first of all, happy Swac Championship Eve. DL love.
Yes, sir, black man. What's going on?
Hey, all is good, man. I heard you made it to Jackson safely.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. In the room watching Army beat the brakes off of Tulane right now.
Oh wow. Well, Timona, I wanted to revisit, I guess, somewhat of a hot topic from this week on social media. Let me ask, first of all, Timona and Doc, what would you consider to be a blue blood? Like, and this could be not just HBCU, but PWI. Like, what constitutes being a blue blood?
This is
I
a good conversation to have.
So I think when you become as a blue blood, it's not just looking at straight up all around, straight up national championships. And we talking about in college, right? So we talking, so I remember they was talking about it, and somebody said, well, as far as for like college basketball, they said is UConn a blue blood, and I'm like, well, yeah, they got 5 national championships. They had a couple of years where they were kind of down, but they are actually known, all over America because of their brand, right? And at the time of the head coach, Jim Calhoun. So when it came down to HBCUs, now I don't, you can have your own opinion, and you can only just focus on just straight up all around national championships, but you got to look at the overall. So in case of, okay, so let's say, for example, it's just a regular example, a case for Grambling. Grambling is a blue blood because they've been established. They have the most conference championships in the SWAC. They have the most, I think, the most national championships in all the HBCU sports. They have plenty of players that been drafted into the NFL. They have Hall of Famers. They had a very well known coach in Eddie Robinson, God rest his soul. But I just don't want to look at as far as talking about just national championships all alone. In the case where you guys say with Jackson State, yes, we have 4. We have 4 national championships, but we also have 19 conference titles. We got 19 conference titles. We got how many division championships we have? We got plenty of those. How many players we put in the NFL? Over 100. And then how many we have in the Hall of Fame? We got 4. Well, it really should be 6 because Jimmy Smith and Harold Jackson need to be in the hall right now. They need to get their gold jackets also for what they've done on the field. But I don't want to, don't discount our school because you feel like that we're not good as y'all. because of what we don't have that many championships like a Grambling, like a Southern, like a FAMU, like even the Tennessee State. Or the thing that I kind of got upset, and I felt like they disrespected us, disrespected HBCU football. They was talking about Tuskegee. And granted, Tuskegee got all this stuff from when they were, from the 20s and the 30s and stuff like that. But let's not sleep on the fact that they are the winningest HBCU overall with over 700. Let's count it. 700. 700 of them things. So, I mean, to me, let's just stop discounting, certain schools because they not sitting up there. Now, if you want to talk about brand, which we talked about that earlier this year too, you know, it will be the same thing. But I guess that's my spiel on it right there.
So which I can't wait to ask Mr. Ford this. I can't wait. Because I know that he, when it comes to the historical relevance of blue blood football, he would be able to, of course, add that in. I just asked Chat GPT, like, hey, I said, which HBCUs are blue bloods in football? I just asked them. And this is what they had to say. The term blue blood in college football typically refers to programs with historic success, significant fan bases, and a strong legacy of championship and iconic players. In the HBCU football world, the following schools are widely regarded as blue blood programs due to their rich histories and successes. The number one team is Grambling State University. Legendary coach Eddie Robinson has the most wins in NCAA football history at one point, numerous SWAC titles and Black College National Championships. NFL legends like Doug Williams and Paul Tank Younger. Number two, Jackson State University, dominant periods in the 70s, 80s. They did recently name Coach Deion Sanders. Numerous SWAC championships produced NFL Hall of Famer Walter Payton. Of course, we know Robert Brazil and many other greats. And as Doc pointed out, we have 4 right now, and we have 2 others that could be added. Southern University comes in at number 3. Consistent excellence in the SWAC with many championships, fierce rivalries, especially with Grambling's Bayou Classic. Notable players include Aeneas. Am I saying that right?
Aeneas Williams.
Aeneas Williams. And so then we also can look at what are some of the greatest awards that are awarded at the FCS level and FBS level, and even at the NFL. What are some of those awards and whose names are on them? They have an Aeneas Williams award.
Mm-hmm.
They have a Walter Payton award.
Mm-hmm.
They have a Eddie Robinson award.
Yep.
They got a Buck Buchanan award too.
Got a Buck Buchanan.
Okay, and we're going to continue to go on. Alcorn State University, home of the Steve McNair, one of the greatest college quarterbacks in history. Strong football tradition with SWAC titles and Black College National Championships. Interesting to note, ChatGPT does still have Florida A&M underneath the MEAC. But as we know, Florida A&M is now in the SWAC, but it does have Florida A&M listed, and it says the first HBCU to win an FCS, then one AA national championship in 1978. A long history of producing NFL talent and winning championships. Iconic head coach Jake Gaither. North Carolina A&T. Recent dominance in HBCU football with multiple Celebration Bowl wins. Produced stars like Tariq Cohen. Strong presence in both the MEAC and the Big South. South Carolina State University is known for its stout defense and producing NFL legends like Harry Carson and Donnie Shell. Dominant force in MEAC history and winners of multiple Black College National Championships. CIAA, they have listed as a blue blood program Virginia State University, one of the more consistent programs in CIAA history. Winston-Salem State University, strong performance in the CIAA and success in Division II playoffs. in recent years. The SIAC has Tuskegee University, the winningest HBCU football program historically, consistent dominance in the SIAC with a strong legacy of success. Morehouse College, while less dominant on the field, is historically significant and alumni base cements its legacy. Independent HBCU teams is Tennessee State University, a storied program with NFL greats like Richard Dent and Ed Too Tall Jones. Strong legacy as an HBCU independent powerhouse. These programs not only dominate in terms of wins and championships, but also represent the heart and soul of HBCU football culture. Their contributions to college football, both on and off the field, make them true blue bloods of HBCU sports. Another thing that's interesting to note is that some of these football programs at certain times in our history, we didn't have a Black college national championship to go to. Or it wasn't named it. So basically, there are times in history where you could say that if there was a champion name, then it would be this program or that program.
Right.
But,
And so when you
Hey,
think about
wait.
it,
So
with,
let me jump in.
okay,
So
go ahead.
I think that's an awesome segue. And Simona, if you want to bring up that photo that I just sent you, you know, people got to understand that. I think you guys may have mentioned, remember the conversation we had with Mr. Ford a while back when it came to like elitism and HBCUs and these tiers, et cetera, way back in the day. And at one point, there were two publications, I think it was Street and Smith, and there was another publication that awarded the Black national champion.
The Sheridan. It was the Sheridan. It was the
That's right.
Sheridan.
And, if you guys can see that on the screen, a lot of these titles, like if you weren't a part of that, kind of quote unquote in crowd, then you probably wouldn't be named national champion. So as you guys can see on the screen, 1952, FAMU was 8-2, Bethune-Cookman was 9-1. They beat FAMU. Southern was 9-2 and beat FAMU, but they gave the national title to FAMU. 1953, FAMU was 9-1. Prairie View was 12-0. They beat FAMU, but they gave the title to FAMU. So, and you guys can continue to go down, and I'm pretty sure everybody remembers in 2021 when FAMU named themselves national champions. You guys got to understand that there was a lot of politics and bias back in those times, and they were giving out these titles to programs, that they necessarily had an affinity to. So as you guys may know, in the 1980s, a 10-year span from 80 to 89, Coach W.C. Gordon at Jackson State won 7 SWAC titles, 5 straight seasons without a conference loss, and had 19 players drafted into the NFL. I would say arguably that's probably the most dominant coach or program within a decade's time. And people like to talk about A&T, they won like 3 or 4 Celebration Bowls. But even that period that A&T was competitive, they were sharing conference titles with other teams. They had several conference losses during that span. They clearly didn't have 19 or even close to 19 players drafted into the NFL. So during the 1980s with that dominant run by Jackson State, I don't even think those posters gave Jackson State a national title at all during that period. And they did. How many? So out of 7,
yeah, 1985.
So out of 7 seasons of dominance, we only won 1 national title. Or they only gave us 1 national title. Do y'all see the bias I'm talking about? 7 SWAC titles in a decade, 5 straight seasons without a SWAC loss. And as you guys know, the SWAC in the 80s, arguably one of the best football conferences in the nation. That's D2, FCS, or FBS. Look how many players were drafted out of the SWAC during that period. All the talent we had in the 80s. You mean to tell me Jackson State dominated the 80s and only had 1 SWAC title named to them? you guys got to understand, like, if you're measuring black college blue bloods based off of national titles that were awarded, there was a lot of bias, there's a lot of politics, and honestly, just a lot of jealousy towards the likes of a Jackson State. So, in addition to all of that, you got to understand, as Tamona just mentioned, when you talk about wins, you talk about national awards on the FCS and the NFL level. As we all know, the highest award you can win in the NFL is the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. I think in 1975 or 76, Jackson State had 2 or 3 players drafted in the first round. In 2000, Jackson State had 2 players drafted in the first round. I think that was the last HBCU to actually do that. So you're looking at, of course, dominance, branding, success. There's about 7 schools that are definitely in that category of blue blood. And that's not a knock to anyone's program who has had recent success, but the term blue blood is more so of a historical reference with respect to, we could talk about blue bloods of Power 5, Notre Dame, Michigan, Southern Cal, Alabama, et cetera, because it's from a historical standpoint. But, and kudos to these programs, these HBCU programs that have had recent success. But when you're talking about over a 50, 60, 70-year span, those 7 programs were actually kind of like the poster children of black college football with respect to getting us notoriety, players, actually NFL scouts come in, to check out our programs. We got to all tip our hats to those 7 programs because they had a consistent level of dominance over a 70-year span. So I thought it was really great discourse on social media and as well as tonight. And Simona, if you got any, or Doc, you got any additional feedback, hey, have at it. But look at that graphic, man. That's preposterous.
Yeah, when you said 7 out of 10, it's actually 8 out of 10 years where we won the SWAC. And
See?
we went 5. We went close to 5 years without a loss, 28 games without a loss. And at the time when you talking about the SWAC back in the 80s, we talking about you only had 8 teams. You only had 8 teams. You had your 2 Texas schools, you had the 2 Louisiana schools, and then you had your 3 Mississippi schools, and then you had Alabama State. Because remember, A&M didn't come into the conference until 1999. Pine Bluff didn't come back into the conference until 1997. That was my freshman year. And then you add, like you said, you add in the 2 Florida schools.
Right.
So look at it from that standpoint where we weren't even playing 11 games. We were playing 10 games.
Right.
And we was kicking everybody's ass.
It's so crazy, man. Like when we actually go back and do research, like you see in that graphic, just the level of bias that, some of these, posters and publications had even during that time in the 40s and the 50s and 60s, like to where if you weren't in a certain school, that had an affiliation to that publication, they weren't going to vote for you, even though, as you can see on the screen, you got 2 losses, 3 losses, but still named Black national champion. That's absurd. So, we got to put things into perspective. When we're having these conversations, we actually have to act like Google is free, as if we can actually go out here and do some research ourselves. So that way, we can have a healthy discourse and dialogue. But yeah, man. And it's kind of full circle. We got 2 black college blue bloods going at it for a SWAC title this weekend, Jackson State versus Southern. And to be honest, if we're keeping it 100 in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson State, Southern in the 90s, they had 3 SWAC titles.
Yeah, we
I
were
believe
going back and forth. Grambling had one in a little bit
and
in the
Alcorn.
middle.
And Alcorn had one.
Alabama State had one in 91.
Yeah.
So
what they did, with adding, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and A&M, they wanted to expand it to a 10 member league, and of course implement a SWAC championship game, because the way Jackson State and Southern were going back and forth throughout the 90s, they just knew that, not just the first SWAC championship, but multiple SWAC championships would be between those 2 teams. and it's going to be great, for television viewership. It's going to be great for attendance, et cetera. And as we saw in the 1999 game, that was one of the highest attended games. It was like maybe 50,000 or 48,000 in Birmingham.
It was like 50,000 at Legion Field. It was y'all talk about cold yesterday for tomorrow. Oh,
Man,
it was cold that day. I promise you, it was cold that day. I want to get before I want to say kind of go off the rail for a second.
oh yeah,
I'm watching Boise State and UNLV. Shout out to Boise State. Ashton Jitch is going to win the Heisman. I don't care anybody say. He just need 130 yards to break Barry Sanders' record,
oh wow,
rushing record in a whole season. But yeah, and then on my way here, I was looking at the score from where my niece go to high school at South Oak Cliff. Shout out to them. They just won their region quarterfinal game, 56-14 against Port Neches Grove. So they got a revenge game from last year. That's who they lost in the state championship game last year. So they on their way 2 more games and they head on to Jerry World. I just had to throw that out there.
oh
Because
yeah.
it's
I think it's
reference to the house.
interesting that you guys talked about bias. Sorry, I was warming up my son's food. Bias, you say? You mean like
Bias.
right now? Like what we go through week in and week out now? That type of
Absolutely.
bias?
And you know what, Timona, talking about, recent bias is very interesting and quite pathetic, to be honest, to see an HBCU publication. I couldn't say the name, but there's an HBCU publication, and they've intentionally decided not to cover Jackson State pretty much at all this year. Not just, the program, but Coach T.C. Taylor, phenomenal student athletes, like our freshmen, as well as Irv Mulligan. It's really sad. The only time that they've actually made a post about Jackson State was kind of a backhanded comment or backhanded article after the Alabama State game. But it's like they're doing their best to kind of dig and pry for content related to Colorado, Coach Prom, other, really low-hanging, low-level stories, if you will. But that's the kind of recent bias that I guess an example of it that we see today.
Oh, I totally agree. Like the stark difference of naming Jackson State at any point in time just for clicks and likes to say Jackson State and Colorado, they were doing it for the last year. And then all of a sudden, now that we're winning, you don't have anything to cover?
Exactly.
You don't have anything to say? That's unusual.
So
And it's so blatant.
Oh no, go ahead, Jerome.
Oh no, it's so blatant, and there are people that are commenting on their posts like, hey, Jackson State is 10-2, and they got the number one, offensive player of the year and freshman of the year and coach of the year. You're not gonna make an article about that? And they'll either block that person or they'll delete the comment or ignore it. It's wild, man. But it's also petty and quite catty, but kind of on brand, So, but the good thing is Jackson State, we have the number one brand among HBCUs, especially as it pertains to social media. We have so many alums and fans that do a great job of consistently, kind of tooting our own horn and recognizing our own accomplishments to where we really don't need that outlet.
Oh well.
Thank goodness for social media impressions, and like you said, thank goodness that Jackson State can promote our program, our university online. That's why I implore everybody that if you are making a post about Jackson State, make sure you put the hashtag at bare minimum I love. If it's football related, add guard the yard and hashtag play for TC. every time that you put that hashtag on your post, it cycles into the algorithm. And so then if somebody happens to click on the I love, they're going to see all of the different posts, or play for TC, they'll see all of the different posts, or guard the yard, all of the different posts. So continuing to do that is an integral part of keeping Jackson State in that algorithm, and also providing positive content. You know, after the whole playbook thing didn't work out for folks, you know, they're looking for their next big story, but we want to make sure that we highlight that. To end the live, I am going to go ahead and highlight, because since my recent early signing day coverage, we did have 2 other young men that committed to Jackson State within the last, 48 hours?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Set it out.
pull out their information and say welcome to the Jackson State University. And of course, you're going to be able to continue to see that blueprint.
And Pomona, before you do that, I got a question for you and Doc. So I have a young man at West Meck High School, really good football player, wants to go to Jackson State, came to a couple of our chapter events. How do we get his film to anyone on staff?
Send me the information.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Send me the information and I'll forward it.
Okay.
You know what
Thank you.
position he plays?
Let me go back to my DM. I'll shoot it to you.
Okay.
What's called they just I know they just named their head coach today for A&T, Sean Gibbs.
We don't like it when folks talk about them, so I'm gonna wait for Mr. Ford. They do not like when folks talk about them. They don't.
Hey,
They
I
do not like
try
it.
to put them in. I try to put them in a good light. So I mean, I'm just saying, hey, congratulations to.
Because if I say who got hired, I'm gonna be petty. You talking about Sean Gibbs?
Yeah, Sean Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm gonna be petty.
Well,
no,
don't worry about you being petty, because AD Sykes was being petty. She was being
Oh, I
petty
saw
all
that.
day today. She was being petty all day. She said that certain
really
school
was.
would have let me hire him when I was there, you wouldn't be in the situation you're in right now.
She did not
Hey,
say that.
I did see her
She
tweet.
didn't say it like that, but she said all like that, but that's what she meant.
No,
I did see her tweet about going to the Celebration Bowl and showing out.
Oh yeah,
and
she
folks were
said she
saying,
about to show her whole. She about to show her whole backside.
No, she didn't.
hey, but
Yeah,
look
she
though,
did.
Timona and Doc, I got a question though. Like A&T definitely does not like people talking about them, but don't they be in everybody's business?
Yeah.
The math ain't math. Like, how does that work?
I don't know. I'm tired of hearing about how folks should go to the FCS playoffs. I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I mean, but it's still, because even with what's called with going to the FCS playoffs, congratulations to them, because they had one hell of to Tennessee State. They had one hell of a season.
They did.
I
Yeah.
mean, the stacks are forever against you, though, sir.
They are.
I mean, it's stacked.
Like, you got to go all the way up to Montana.
Man, that's crazy.
And you know what?
Yeah,
I mean, realistically, when you look at Jackson State in the 80s and 90s, and you talk to some of those players, they'll tell you that the odds were just as, not in their favor back then. Like, they had them going to these far out remote places, games starting at 7, 8 o'clock, it's snowing,
I mean, it's just terrible. And if that would have been played on neutral ground, I really think Tennessee State could have pulled it out. But like I said, the odds are stacked against you, and it's just not. Ever since FAMU won that title, they made sure that folks they stack it.
Yeah, they stacked the deck against all HBCUs.
You had to bid. You had to pay them to bid on a game. Then once you paid them that money, you also had to split ticket revenue with them.
Yeah.
Jackson State is prized to make $1.5 million minimum tomorrow as the commissioner pointed out, he said he's not counting nobody's pockets, but the last time Jackson State hosted the Swac Championship, they made upwards of $1.5 million. And all of that revenue goes to Jackson State University. If Jackson State, or excuse me, when Jackson State wins and they go to the Celebration Bowl, that's another $1 million. So that's $2.5 million in postseason revenue. And for folks who say that money doesn't matter, you got to be kidding, right? This is why we have to do money games in the season. If you are able to get $1.5 million for your championship, your conference championship game, if you're able to take home 1 million plus in revenue, that's at least 2, possibly even 3 money games that you don't have to play. You don't have to go play as FAMU had to play. I think they had to play 2 money games this past season. They had to play Troy and Miami.
Or like in the case of Valley, you don't have to be on the road for the first 4 games of the season.
Like Valley had to go and be on the road. They actually 8 of their 12 games was on the road. That's a very hard schedule. A lot of times they were not flying; they were riding the bus. There's a lot of odds that are stacked against some of these programs, and so the ability to generate revenue, which you generate revenue by attendance, which is why we always talk about. People say, "Oh, you guys want an attendance award?" Attendance award equals revenue award, right? So
exactly.
I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Jackson State's always bragging about their attendance." Well, attendance equals revenue. Revenue dollars equals money for our athletic program, and it also means that Jackson State does not have to schedule as many money games. So
and it also equates to potential sponsorships as well, because that's what sponsors care about: how many butts in the seat.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's crazy, Doc and Timona, for these same people who talk about, FCS playoffs, money doesn't matter, they'll turn around and root for these same Power 5 schools that have since done conference realignments, the same ones that have joined the ACC, but yet they're in Colorado, they're in California, on the West Coast playing in the Big Ten. And the whole purpose of that is driven by television revenue. But if revenue doesn't matter, but you're still rooting for those same Power 5 schools, like the math ain't mathing. Everything in college sports is about money. It's a business. And if you can scoff at $2.5 to $3 million in revenue over a 2-week time span, I mean, hey, more power to you. You must be balling like that. But when it comes to college athletics, I don't even know too many FBS programs that are going to walk away from that type of potential revenue maker for a playoff system that doesn't really generate money for your program. Like that's crazy. Everything is about business. It really doesn't matter about a national title per se, unless that national title is going to come with millions and millions of dollars of revenue. So you're looking at our schools, we're trying to get as much money as we can. In addition to Jackson State leading the FCS in attendance, first of all, from a historical perspective, Jackson State has led FCS attendance more than any other school since the NCAA began counting attendance in 1978. So when you think about all those years of us leading attendance and all that revenue going to the university and to the athletic program, that's really important, because as we know, the football program is the main economic engine, or for revenue for the entire athletic department. So let's keep things into perspective and let's begin to have intelligent conversations.
Yeah.
Right. Not one's rooted in, I don't know, when people regurgitate like racist ideals or stuff rooted in racism, and then you hear it from HBCUs as a dig, it's kind of off-putting when it comes from HBCU podcasters who claim that they are experts, or I could see it in the Rough and the Swac, but once those conversations are had outside of HBCU spaces and formulated as fact, or I know what I'm talking about because I'm an expert, it's like, come on now, be for real.
And you know what, that conversation extends past playoffs and attendance. it goes into the whole realm of, you know, the best marching band or best homecoming. And this is coming from people on the East Coast primarily who have never traveled past Atlanta, Georgia. And you know, I'm from North Carolina, and I'm quick to call people from my home state country, because how is it that all these Jacksonians and SWAC alumni, we've been to all these other homecomings, Howard, Hampton, A&T, Tennessee State, etc. But y'all are afraid to come past Atlanta, Georgia? All you know is G-Ho? All you know is North Carolina Central? Like, all you know is the Mid-Atlantic states. So do yourselves a favor next year. Put it on your bucket list, New Year's resolution. Go check out some of the HBCU homecoming, some of the HBCU classics. It'll really change your perspective as it pertains to what HBCU culture really is and who basically got the best vibes out there.
Who got the best vibes, Jerome?
Be love, clearly. Listen, I'm not being biased. Even during prime years and post-prime years, I've had buddies here in Charlotte who went to Winston-Salem State, Howard, the AUC, etc. They've been to multiple Jackson State games, and especially homecoming. And they've all come back and told me, Jerome, on our best day, we cannot do the numbers y'all do, nor the vibes y'all do. It's like, they'll basically say, like, the culture, you can feel it in the atmosphere. It's like, it's way different. And when I press them, I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? They'll say, you know, at our homecoming, it's more so people walking around, people watching, you know, kind of stunting, whatever. But at y'all's homecoming, it's like I felt like I was family, and I ain't even go to y'all school like that. Like, people offering me food, people offering me drinks, you know, people hugging me, you know, when they see my shirt, it's just all love. And they'll say you don't get that at their homecoming. So do yourselves a favor. Next year, go check out some other HBCU events outside of your own.
Yeah, I think what for next season, for football season, my bucket list, where my to-do list is to go to some Division II HBCU games, so I could get more knowledge and coverage of that for myself. And you know,
I mean, I
just
went to North Carolina Central versus Alabama State at the Orange Blossom Classic. I went to that one.
Okay.
yeah.
Let me ask, Timon, have you been to any A&T games?
No. She said nope. She don't touch Greensboro like that.
Man, when I tell you,
It's not
don't, hey, look,
that. It's definitely not that. It's, you know, shoot, those Saturdays my team be playing too. I want to watch Jackson State. I want to see what Jackson State talking about. But you know, I went to a Jackson State no, I went to a North Carolina A&T basketball game. The ladies, that's probably the one event that I did attend was the Aggies when they were in the playoffs, or they were in
the tournament.
Yes, when they were in the tournament, I did attend that particular game. It was electrifying. It was a packed house. I enjoyed myself. But no, I have not been to a game.
Look, Timona, what I tell you, man, even prior to their slump, even when A&T was winning, those are some of the most boring games you will ever be. Like, folks, I
Do you
say
bring your
less than,
backpack and do your homework in the stands?
real talk, man. Like, I say less than 60% of the folks out there have on A&T apparel. They're like very wine and cheese crowd. They're not chanting. It's like, I don't know why they bougie, but yeah, they're very bougie at the
They was
games.
cheering at the basketball game.
Oh yeah, now the basketball, and you know what? A&T and Central, they're historically basketball schools. So the vibe at their basketball games is real lit. But football,
But you got to realize you in North Carolina. North Carolina is a basketball state.
Oh yeah,
it is dominated by basketball.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm about to jump out this thing, y'all.
All right, man. Have a good night, bro.
Well, me and Braxton will be at the watch party tomorrow, Jerome.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, so I'll be there about 1
I'm
o'clock.
bringing Braxton. He needs
The iPad.
a tablet, something. You can't be bothered. You can't be trying to talk to me while I'm watching this game. You be like, mommy, I don't have time.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you. So we've got some other SWAC chapters coming. I know Tennessee State's chapter, they're coming up. They're gonna pull up tomorrow. But shout out to everybody that's hosting a watch party across the nation. Make sure you post your pictures on social media. As Timona mentioned, do hashtag #DILove. But hey, guard the yard. Go JSU tomorrow. It's a big win. I'm already claiming. I already know. Go ahead and book your hotels and you get your tickets for the Celebration Bowl. Hey, and #DILove. Appreciate you, Timona.
All right, thanks, Jerome. Oh, dang, Jay. How much money we done made? 6.5 million, almost roughly about 6.5 million in postseason money. It looks like Jackson State has the mecca of football. I didn't say that. Coach TC said it. I just repeated it. The mecca of football. And he wasn't lying. G-Ho, and it was whack. Went to Howard Tolman. It was whack. Oh! Ain't nothing like a Jackson State homecoming. But you have to get there Thursday. I refuse to actually go to homecoming unless I can go on a Thursday. Because I have to be on the yard Friday at noon. It's a must. Friday at noon. The alumni block party that evening. Saturday, tailgate. Yeah. So I refuse. So hopefully I'll be able to attend next year. Barring that we don't have any close, like, big games. I had to pick and choose between FAMU versus Jackson State and, FAMU versus Jackson State or homecoming. And I had to see that FAMU game live. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Brother Bakari, we have over 40,000 tickets sold as of, I want to say today there was a announcement made that we have roughly 40,000 tickets sold. Tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day for HBCU football for a SWAC championship. It is going to be chilly. So make sure that you guys dress accordingly. I saw on Facebook, which I guess I could share that, they do have let me see if I can pull up. I think it's off Highway 80 at the Walmart. Let me show you guys the grill. So just in case, if it's not sold out yet. This is let me see. Sorry, y'all. There we go. All right. So I want to say this is at the Walmart on Highway 80.
You fans got something new today. It's a great item that you're gonna love. It's a wearable throw. Very nice item. It's really what you want for this game this weekend. It's warm. It has a hood, showing the hood. It has a hood attached where you can put it on your head. You might not need all those other throws this one that you can put on. So it's very, very nice item. It's gonna leave pretty quick, I'm sure. It's only $40. Come to your local Jackson Walmart today and pick it up. We'll see y'all soon.
So it's like a throw that you put over. Oh, sorry. Now, folks done bought it and they finna sell it for $85. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow you see it for $85. It sold for $40. They're gonna sell it for $85 and folks are gonna buy it. Now they know they could have ordered up roughly 200 of those 200 of those So whatever they ordered, they should have ordered double. They sold out already? Dang. Well, I'm sorry, y'all. Wishful thinking, but if you see this on sale, like, you know how they have those street vendors and you see it and they trying to sell it for 85, just be like, I know you got that from Walmart. I'm gonna still buy it though, but I know you got it from Walmart though. Yes. So before I got distracted, I forgot to share these two gentlemen. I feel like they need to be highlighted because they committed in the last couple of days since the announcement that I made. So Corian Bowie, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. He's an outside linebacker and he's a free safety. And he committed to Jackson State University. He is a defensive lineman from Holmes Community College in Goodman, Mississippi. Now, y'all know I done told y'all about these young men that are coming out of these community colleges. Y'all don't never want to listen to me. Y'all never want to listen to me when I tell you what the blueprint is for Jackson State University and how they go about finding these young men. They have a connect in all of these hotbeds in community college. They have a hotbed there. And listen, it's going to be hard for folks to beat Jackson State when you're consistently getting the best talent out of the community colleges. The reason why I say that is because a lot of times you'll also see that the LA Techs, the ULMs, the Louisiana Cajuns, Raging Cajuns, a lot of these FBS Group of Five and stuff like that, a lot of them also look in the community college hotbeds for top of the line talent. It says that Corian Bowie is from Mendenhall, Mississippi. So there you have it, is basically someone that is also from the state of Mississippi. And this particular post tells us about who the top 20 JUCO defensive ends are. And they have, of course, Corian Bowie listed as one of the top 20 JUCO defensive ends. I'm going to go ahead and play also his film just to let you know, homegrown. This is not something that this is not a blueprint that was created 4 years ago. This is something that has evolved and has worked tremendously for Jackson State, which is finding those diamond in the roughs and that homegrown talent and bringing them home to Jackson State, whereas they might have went somewhere else. And, you know, we're always looking for a Joshua Nobles Jr. You know, you're always looking for a Philip Webb or, you know, we have to basically replenish that talent. So he looks like he's playing defensive end and he's able to get into those gaps to the quarterback or getting across the offensive line and getting there. Running them down, pursuing them. So this is stuff that you like to see, right? And then with Callie James as the defensive line coach, just developing them even more. Oh my God. Yeah, like that. Like that. He's like that. So just tracking down the quarterback or the running back and going after that ball. That's what you want to see. See ball, get ball, aggressive. Um, a ball hawk. Caused a forced fumble on that last play. And also to note that a lot of these young men are actually going to be enrolled by January. And as you know, January is that that's where you're going to separate the boys from the men. You're going to turn these young men into like, as far as strength and conditioning, you have to get through it. That's going to be the main, of course, the main theme during January, which is you got to get through that strength and conditioning, and your nutrition, of course, focusing on nutrition, staying in shape, and getting ready for spring football as well as summer. So I think we'll probably have a minimum of 8 players that will be enrolling in January. And they'll already be getting in sync and in line with the Jackson State program. Braxton went up there and went straight to sleep. Okay, and so let me go ahead and get that other player. So once again, that's Corian Bowie, and he is from Mendenhall, Mississippi. He is listed on the website, or excuse me, on his page, he's listed as 6'4", 240 pounds. And our next recruit, this is the last one, and then we will get up on out of here so y'all can be fresh tomorrow, because you need to be on your way to the stadium by 11:30. 11:30, you need to be headed on over there to Charlotte. So our last young man is from the state of Florida. Oh, and here's the post about Isaiah Bolden. He said he on his way to Jacktown. He wasn't gonna miss this. He was not gonna miss the Swac Championship. He said he on his way. Let me look at this last. I'm telling you right now, this young man that we got is 6'5". 6'5". Like what? 6'5". 6'5". And he's out of Florida. He is a prospect from Lake Mary. Y'all, when I say we be getting some dogs. Bishop said if you just now heading to the stadium by 11:30, you late. Well, do y'all have like shrimp and grits or fish and grits that early in the morning? Like, are y'all having tailgate breakfast? What's going on? All right. Lord have mercy. All right. So this young man, his name is Tyree Witherspoon, and he just turned 18. So happy belated birthday to him. He is from Lake Mary High School, Lake Mary, Florida, class of 2025. It says that he's 6'5", 186 pounds. He is right now, as of now, before he committed to Jackson State, he is listed by 247 Sports as a 3-star. As we all know, 247 be doing Jackson State wrong with these commits, boy. They be taking a long time to put the young men on Jackson State's roster. So this is going to be, I want to say, the 4th or 5th 3-star that Jackson State has recruited. Blue said he's in town. You going to the Tailgaters Anonymous? He said he might go ahead and go park right now. The traffic is no joke. Breakfast is served at 7:30. Patting deer sausage as we speak. I want some Jaguar sausage for breakfast. I know that's right, Granny Ann. Go ahead and get that belt to ass so I can see y'all at the Celebration Bowl. Tyree Witherspoon. Okay, let's look at some of his offers. He has an offer from Coastal Carolina, Delaware, Miami, Old Dominion, Ole Miss, Pittsburgh, Toledo, UAB, USF, UT Martin, West Virginia, Bethune-Cookman, Jackson State, and Morgan State. My God. Do you see all these offers that he got? Big V, Bethune-Cookman. Y'all let us get that one out of Florida. We offered Tyree Witherspoon back in May of 2024. Actually, a lot of people offered him. He has completed in track and field events. As a freshman, he posted 11.85 in the 100. He is a key target for a Daytona Beach mainland program. They won a Florida 3S state title championship. He caught 8 passes and 230 yards and 3 touchdowns over the course of the season. I'm excited to be able to see another 6'5" receiver coming out of the state of Florida. As you know, we did get and still have on our roster Jonas Fortillion, and he has you can see his development. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play his film, and then we will be done for the night. Y'all make sure y'all are at the stadium by 11 o'clock. So he's number 10. What is that? Oh my goodness. Okay. He broke on down through. He's got some speed and height. How you gonna fix it? 11 o'clock without a parking pass, you better get dropped off. Okay. 6'5" receiver. Once he gets that weight up on him, boy. And he's 6'5" now. That means he could possibly be growing. We could see a 6'6" receiver, 6'7". What y'all in here lying about? We ain't lying about nothing, Dre. We over here lying about this 50,000 we about to have in the stadium. Okay, he dropped back, came back for the play. So that's Isaiah Spencer, Jonas Fortillion, and Tyree Witherspoon in terms of like wide receivers with height. Yes, 60,000. So I guess you need to be dropped off by 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock? That's early as heck. Good Lord. That's why you supposed to stay at the hotel right down the street. Once he get that front speed up, he's out of there. You can't catch him. Southern Band gonna march in at 10 a.m. They're gonna be sitting outside. You have to wait. Let's have some decorum public service announcements. Southern, you're gonna have to wait to march in. We don't want any mishaps. We don't want any temper tantrums. Okay, y'all. And as for Jackson State players, y'all keep y'all head on the swivel. You know, no fighting, no targeting. We don't need no injections because we need you for the Celebration Bowl. You're gonna have to wait. There we go. Yeah. And thank you all for coming today. No flags. Oh no, we bring in the flags. You can't plant. You're not gonna be able to plant your flag no way because you're not winning. Y'all can bring y'all flags. Bring y'all flags. Flags are allowed. They have not been banned yet. Handshake, I don't know. We're gonna have to we'll have to wait on that one. And everybody have a good night.
Y'all hired some homegrown talent. I'm proud of Jackson State. Everybody give me a round of applause. Everybody just give me a round of applause. They hired some homegrown talent. And got a homegrown ass whooping. That's a homemade ass whooping. That ass whooping from scratch. Okay? That ass whooping went out the box. That ass whooping came from scratch. Them folks told you last year, I hope you put me on homecoming. Them folks told you what they gonna. See, it's one thing to sneak up on me. If you're gonna sneak up, I lost to Texas Southern last year homecoming, right? I didn't see that coming. They snuck up on me and they beat me. Them folks told you, if you put me on your homecoming next year, I hope you put me on your homecoming. You dummies did it. You did it and got your ass whooped. Y'all Y'all hired some homegrown talent. I'm proud of Jackson. I got something to say. Yes. 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 I got something to say.
Yeah, man, hey, write a check your ass in cash, man. That's all I can say. Yeah, man, hey, write a check your ass in cash, man. That's all I can say.
He made it big time, Willie. Willie! Willie! He gone! Willie! He made it big time. How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the jobless visit. I done called the police because I'm doing a refund. A refund is due unto me. Don't feel like I just been abused out here today. God ain't pleased with this. You can't do the Saints like this. Boy, I don't even know if I'm gonna sit out here till the police come. I'm gonna sit out here till the police come. I'm doing a refund. Cause I'm doing one to me. How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the jobless visit. I done called the police because I'm doing a refund. A refund is due unto me. Don't feel like I just been abused out here today. God ain't pleased with this. You can't do the Saints like this. Boy, I don't even know if